Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. Got a video today from Poor Man's Podcast.
I never thought that I was going to talk about this online because I'm so ashamed and I'm so embarrassed.
Tara's losing her house, but still spending.
I feel like such a
I'm not a financial advisor, but I say this all the time on the channel. It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you save. I think it's something of about 75% of NFL players go bankrupt after leaving the league. 65% of NBA players. There's literally something called the lottery curse where people will win the lottery and best case scenario is they go broke. Worst case scenario is they end up on drugs, dead, or in prison. Last year, I seen a statistic that says that 69% of Gen Z that makes $100,000 or above are living paycheck to paycheck. So It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you can save. There's a new phenomenon where these OF girls are making insane amounts of money. But here's the biggest problem. If you're so short-sighted that you start selling yourself so that you can make money in the now, you're probably not the same person that's going to have the foresight to develop a diversified portfolio. And so
I say it all the time. I am somewhat a financial advisor, and young people that come into a lot of money, they haven't had the discipline sets and skills throughout a good chunk of their life to plan ahead. Like, I meet so many people that are in their 50s and 60s are now barely starting to think about saving for their retirement. And you're going to have to save a lot of money now. When you were younger, you can save very little and it compounds to be a lot of money later in life. But when you're older, the thing that you had when you were younger is time. Time is probably the biggest factor for monies to grow. So it's best to save money and put it away in IRAs, Roth IRAs, life insurance, many different vehicles for many different purposes, right? But it's best to put some money away, especially when you're young.
over the course of the next 5 years, you're going to start to see a lot of these influencers and OF girls start to go broke. And here's one of them. Her name is Lynn, and she has 4 million followers on TikTok. And this is how much money she made when she started doing OF.
Crazy.
OnlyFans is crazy.
Yeah, so how much are you railing in on OnlyFans?
Drop it.
Drop
Come
it.
on now. This past October, I would make like 100 to 150K a month. I vlogged like me getting ready for my OnlyFans shoot.
120 something K a month? What do you do with your money? You could have bought like many houses with that.
And it did so fucking well. So now it's like 350 a month. It's insane.
Are you
crazy.
serious?
Wait, $350 a month?
Well, I guess you go to Harry Styles concerts. What else
Yeah.
do you do with all this fucking money?
So she mentions that she spends money on tickets to see an artist named Harry Styles. You might think she's splurging, spending a couple $1,000s, but this is how much money she spent in 1 year just going to Harry Styles concerts.
hate for this video and I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I went to 17 Harry Styles concerts over the past 4 months and I want to know how much money I spent. Because that's really not what I was thinking about while I was having the time of my life. I actually couldn't care less. Now I care and I'm a little curious. So I'm going to add up some numbers right now and I'll get back to you in a second. Okay, so I have all of my numbers ready to be added together. I'm frightened. The curiosity killed the cat because you know what? I am better off not knowing this, but I need to know. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Let me quickly preface this number and just say my love for Harry Styles is quite literally blinding. And I'll fork over the paychecks.
Blinding.
Apparently.
He doesn't even know who the hell you are.
You know those TikToks where someone's talking about something that was really expensive and the audio is like 30,000. I spent $30,599 on Harry concert.
In a single year?
Here's a little compilation of her bragging about how much money she has and has made and what she's been doing with it over the past few years.
I spent thousands of dollars to spend the day at the Beverly Hills Hotel with my friends, and we're here. I've stayed here like 25 times and I always stay in a bungalow, but these days I got a cabana at the Beverly Hills Hotel pool. It was $2,500. Here it is. I'm staying in.
I mean, I admit I splurged a little bit when I went on vacation. Well, the company also kind of books 5-star amenities for us too. I went to a Michelin star Korean barbecue spot. We did like this palace dinner. those were a bit pricey, like a couple $100. But even at staying at the 5-star hotel for like the trip I took for 2 people, I spent maybe 10,000, just because the Korea trip itself was 6,000 ish or so, and then the China trip was actually only like $1,000. So, and then whatever I spent in between, I felt like I spent way too much, but I guess I'm not that bad.
In a cabin in the middle of the woods in New Mexico. Cabin tour. First, I'm going to show you our awesome deck. It wraps all the way around the house. Come on. We just got our biggest fish yet at the fish store. Let's get her in the tank. I just booked a suite at a really fancy hotel. Let's go have a solo staycation. So I'm getting married next year, and today me and my fiance are touring some way. Me and my fiance have been on vacation for 2.5 weeks.
So there you go. She's bragging about spending. She's doing vacations. She's enjoying her fiance. And usually when you're doing all these things, especially vacations, as an influencer, you're not putting out the content and being loyal to your audience by giving your audience content that they want. You're drinking, you're partying, you're smoking, you're having a good time, not really thinking about the long haul. But as a content creator, there's always other content creators. So if you're not staying consistent, you're going to fall off very quickly, especially in the modern current. Now, here's a compilation of the falling off that's been happening over the past few months once you realize that your bank account is starting to drain.
Prepare to be fucking sick of me with the OF promo. I might purposely get myself into a scandal. I'm cooking something up right now. Let me know if you have any ideas of like horrible, awful things I could say online to purposely get my.
She is so mid. Like, not top tier beauty or anything, mid.
Myself into a scandal. I'm going to. I get comments like, I thought you didn't do OF anymore. I thought you hated it. Just quit. I'm like, I can't just quit. I would lose my house. My financial advisor literally called me while I was driving back from my road trip. He was like, Tara, like, if you don't shoot for OF next week, you're gonna lose your house within the month. So I can't just stop. Let's head into downtown and get coffee and pop into shops, but not actually buy anything because I'm broke these days. Y'all guessed it. Someone commented under my video the other day and she was like, I sense a recession. I was like, you are absolutely right, girly pop. TikTok doesn't allow me to put my OF link in my bio anymore, so I am now broke. I've been getting a lot of comments saying, girl, you keep saying that you're broke. How are you on a 2-week-long vacation? Wouldn't you like to know? Honestly, valid point. And to that I say, just because I'm broke does not mean I'm going to give up my East Coast summer big one.
Before we get into the next clip of her talking a little bit more about the details of why she decided to do OF, you guys got to understand that she bought a $3.5 million house when her financial advisor told her not to because she couldn't actually afford it. She said,
You made $120K. You couldn't just buy a nice, modest $1 million house? I say $1 million now because in California, you get a normal house for $1 million.
that her mortgage came out to $25,000.
What?
Dollars a month.
It is so perfect. I made it exactly what I wanted because I renovated the whole house. It is so me. The yard is perfect. We live in a beautiful canyon with like
Yeah, it is so you. It's not going to be yours anymore.
hikes. Like I wouldn't change a single thing about this house, the area that we live in. It's so perfect. So I want this to be my forever home, but I'm not going to say with certainty because I'm always changing. How much is your mortgage? This is what fucks me up. So my mortgage, like the minimum mortgage payment on my house, I'm gonna be so transparent right now because like, why not? When I bought this house, I was like making so much more money than I do now because my OF was just doing better. So I was making all this money. I got approved for a $6 million loan. I was like, oh wow. But I had already found this house and this house was on the market for
So you were willing to spend all $6 million.
3.8, and I was like, oh, like I'm lowballing it right now. Like so I think I took out, I don't know, I put like $1 million down and then I did renovation. So like my minimum mortgage payment right now is $25,000 a month, but $17,000 of that goes to interest. So like every time I'm paying this $25,000 mortgage, only like a couple grand is actually going towards the principal, and that like really fucks up. Oh, it's just it's like throwing so much money into the wind every month. It like actually like fucks me up so bad.
Not only that, but she's in California. I mean, I have to look this up. She's mentioned it before. She says she lives in California. She lives in Beverly Hills. I got to look up the property.
Okay, Beverly Hills, I guess I can see the 3.8 million. I live in Buena Park and the house I live in is probably like 1.2. It's not even that big or great of a house. I'm renting it, but you know, like houses are expensive in California.
Property taxes. Look at this. The annual property taxes, and this is, by the way, Class A pocket watching. But the annual property taxes on a $3.5 million home in Beverly Hills would be approximately $41,000 a year for a new owner. So she doesn't even really own the house. She's just kind of renting it until the bank comes and steals it. And that's why I be telling people, you have to be careful, because a lot of people equate what they've made in their best month they ever had. They say that's going to be my new norm. And then they go out and they make all of these purchases and they live an expensive lifestyle and they sign up for mortgages. They sign up for car loans, $300,000 cars. Brother, that's a 5-year loan. Are you going to be making this same money for 5 years? If not, you can't afford it. A 30-year mortgage. Are you going to be making this same money on OF for the next 30 years? If you did this when you were 25 years old, you'll be 55 years old paying $25,000 a month. Can you sustain that reasonably? Because when you have that level of responsibility and that many bills, and you probably took in all responsibilities from other people around you that rely on you now, just other different moving parts. You have an expensive upkeep. Now, Texas Roadhouse don't taste the same. You want to go to the expensive steakhouse. So you just have a different level of upkeep, and a lot of people aren't willing to downgrade their lives because it hits their ego. So if you're not willing to sustain that 30-year mortgage for 30 years, then you're not really owning the house. You're just renting it until the bank comes and takes it from you. When you put on the golden handcuffs and
well, not just renting it, poor man. She also put $1 million down. So you paid the mortgage company or whatever, the bank, the privilege to rent the house for $1 million.
you go this much into debt and you have this much responsibility, you have to keep going. Because if you quit, working at McDonald's just ain't gonna cut it for you.
Why did you start OF? I started OF because like everyone else was doing it, and I just really wanted to do it. Like, I feel like when I was a teenager, I was like that teenager that was always on like seeking arrangements, trying to find some lonely old man that would like talk to me for money. Like I feel like it just made a lot of sense for me. I was so crazy back then. I was like, oh, I want to do.
So you were a lazy, dusty, musty, crusty that wanted to just finesse men. What I heard right now.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, so you were always short-sighted. You were always looking to take the easy route, and you were always looking for somebody to bail you out of your circumstances. So it's not surprising that you dug yourself into this hole. Fast money comes with slow problems.
Like, I wanted to really bad. It was super genuine to me when I first started it. Like, I really wanted to do it. And so, whatever, I started it. And now, like, I'm still not mad at it. Like, I don't love doing it. Like, it's not my favorite thing in the world, but it's brought me so many opportunities. It's brought me my lifestyle. Like, it has paid for so much of my life. Like,
But your lifestyle is now just the golden handcuffs, because now to uphold that lifestyle, you have to keep spending. And now to afford that lifestyle, you have to keep making money. And that's the problem. You in a whole different phase. She in a whole different phase of her life now. She wants to start getting married. She wants to start having kids. But now you still doing OnlyFans because that's what you sold yourself to. The devil.
$25,000 a month for a mortgage. Holy moly.
Never sells you hardship. He sells you comfort.
So grateful for it. But at the same time, now I'm coming to a place where like I've had OnlyFans for so long that like the traffic to my OnlyFans page has just like, I have to do so much more to keep the traffic coming, and it's really hard. It's not just like when I first started OnlyFans, everyone was like, oh my God, like this girl is so crazy and she's always out drinking with these dudes. Like, I want to see what she's doing on OnlyFans. And there was this big allure about it. And now I'm like at home and like cooking and like I have a fiance and like it's just not like no one's really like dying to see my OF anymore. So I have to do so much to like get people to go over there and spend money.
And I really want people to hear that, because that's what you sell. You sell people a dream. You sell people happiness, because that's what gets subscriptions. You don't show people this part. You don't show people the misery. You don't show people the addiction that comes with you having to do your job.
It's funny because me and Poor Man show the opposite. We show you the misery that can come before you if you simp and let women rule your life.
And I'm not saying in her case specifically, but I'm just saying generally speaking when it comes to this line of work. You don't show people. You don't tell people about the STDs come with it. You don't tell people about the fact that no other people want you around their husbands or around their families because you're a sex worker. Because that's what gets people to sign up. And so when you on Instagram and you see these types of girls living this lifestyle that it seems like nobody can afford, you're right. They can't afford it either. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. And now the only way she can continue her lifestyle and not go completely bankrupt and keep her down payment on a $3.5 million house, which she says she put down $1 million on, that disappears if she loses the house to the bank.
Oh, it's
That actually sounds about right, because you know, like $1.4 million house, you're looking at like almost a $12,000, $11,000 mortgage. So she put down $1 million, so it was 2.5 left over on it. Yeah, 25,000 sounds about right.
to the point where I'm not making as much on OnlyFans anymore. And because of OnlyFans, I can't get brand deals. So I'm kind of in like and I can't stop doing OnlyFans because if I stopped OnlyFans, I feel like maybe a year from now, then brands would want to start working with me, but I can't afford to go a year without doing OnlyFans, you know? So I'm kind of in like a weird situation where I like can't stop. It's like whatever, like I don't hate doing it, whatever.
I have to make money. My bills are high. Did I tell you how much my bills is a month? Nigga, my bills high as shit. Like, if I don't work, I'm gonna go broke ASAP. Like, I have to work. I don't have a choice. You feel me? Like, it ain't about me trying to just pocket some money. I have multiple homes, multiple cars. I have family. I have a child. Like, I spend a lot of money.
Did y'all see that video of that girl asking how all the OG influencers were making $30,000 to $50,000 a month and now they're broke and e-begging on TikTok? Like, what happened to all that money? So as somebody who accumulated over 2.5 million subscribers on YouTube back in 2015, and I was literally living in LA, so I witnessed a lot of this. I'm going to give you guys the breakdown on what happened with that money. I can't speak for everybody, obviously, but just what I've seen. When I moved out there, I thought I was pushing it with my $2,000 one-bedroom apartment, but I had people living in the same building, just at the top floor. I was on the third floor, but they were at the top floor paying $20,000 a month. And then I had some friends that lived in mansions just for the sole purpose of wanting to be able to throw parties and have people come over and make content in.
Well, a lot of those women that actually live in mansions live in there for free because men just want women to live there so they can use them for, you know, club promotion and all these other purposes. That's why I've heard stories about that too.
There, literally paying people's yearly salaries like $30,000-$40,000 a month just to rent this huge house. So for those of you that were also wondering, like, why do a lot of these influencers have big houses but they're fucking empty? Not even joking, to get some good quality.
Dude, my house is empty. I don't even have furniture. I don't have like living room furniture at my house. I have an island for eating and 2 stools. That's all I have in my house for downstairs.
Furniture in there, it's gonna cost you like $500,000. And don't even get me started on their Uber ego. It's like people reach a certain amount of followers and all of a sudden they can't use Uber X. Yeah, we can't pull up to this party in a Prius. Order an Uber Black. Why would we spend $250 to pull up to a party when we could spend $19.99? Half the cars that you see these people whipping around are rentals, and they're spending like $300, $500 a day just to whip it around and try
A day? People
try to act like there's somebody they're not. Babe, just because you hit 200K doesn't mean you need to go and get a C300 from Mercedes. Like, it's okay. You can drive your paid off Toyota. Maybe 1 out of 10 of my friends actually cooked their meals at home.
A C300 is actually not that expensive. It's only like $40,000-$50,000. So, I mean, it's a lot more reasonable than $40,000 mortgage or rent.
Everybody was constantly going out to eat or hiring private chefs. When you start making all this money, a lot of people tend to forget that it might stop one day. So they're still going on these expensive vacations, buying all this designer, even if it's starting to dwindle, because they literally got used to that lifestyle. Girl, when I tell you, the second I had enough money to buy a property, I bought one. I could only tell so many story times and do so many get ready with me's before people fucking lose interest, okay? I had to be realistic about it. But I could see how most 21-year-olds are not thinking about that. More or less, a lot of these people ran through their money trying to look cool. That's it. And
True.
now they're begging for galaxies and cowboy hats.
It just goes to show you that being modest is actually virtuous. It's much better to be debt-free and to actually own your time than it is to own a nice t-shirt that was $1,000 or to be forced into prostitution for the next 30 years of your life because you want to own a home that you can't actually afford.
You know, I work as a financial advisor. I go over people's finances. I do, you know, a personal finance strategy for everybody, and they list down how much they make and their debt and everything. And sometimes I just look at it and just like, I try not to judge, you know, because it's my job to just help these people get through it. But I just, can't help but judge sometimes. Just you make only $8,000 a month. You're bringing in $8,000, which is a lot of money, by the way, but you spend still $10,000 a month. Remember, people's lifestyle grows with their money, and once it grows to enough, you can never go back down, or you're gonna go dead broke. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that, and I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.